My name is Israel Solis. I'm 36 years old, proud father of four beautiful children. Been married for about 20 years. It was last January, about this time, that I just had a lot of health issues. I was about 240 pounds, had high blood pressure, borderline diabetic, and just miserable. I was sleeping about 18 hours a day, and I was missing a lot of things that I should have been a part of in regard to my kids, as far as practices and concerts and things that I took for granted. It wasn't until my youngest boy um, actually came crying to me one day about a bad practice he had had. And even though it might have seemed small to most, it just made me realize what I had been missing. I wasn't able to be there for him, to, I guess, give him the support that he needed. And having your youngest crying to you because you were too tired or you weren't feeling good, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So at that point, that's when I realized that something had to change. And so I actually took the first step in reaching out to my best friend. And his name is Kane, and he's actually the gentleman that I actually reached out to and talked to. And after talking with him for about a good 2 or 3 weeks, he introduced me to a company, a supplement company called Advocare. Even after talking to him for a couple of weeks, I still didn't even take him seriously. I kind of figured he was just trying to sell me a bunch of supplements to lose weight and stuff, and I still pushed it to the wayside. So I actually put together a plan and put it in place and got everything that I needed as far as my supplements in line, and then my diet, and then obviously working out. The third thing I did was took a week to prepare myself mentally. I knew it was going to be hard because of all the neglect that I had actually put myself through. And I wasn't going to jump right into it with at least preparing myself and writing down exactly why I had to do this. And even though my kids had told me that I had changed so much, it just got to a point where I wasn't going to have, my effort wasn't going to be half of what I knew I could do or had to do to get out of that situation. I had already taken a whole week to prepare myself mentally, and I had put together a workout plan on a piece of paper. I had actually taken the time to write every exercise that I wanted to do. I had broken it. I broke it down from upper body, lower body. I had my whole week already. So the first day was on a Monday. I just gotten a gym membership. Excited. I had gone out and invested money in sweats and athletic shoes, you know. I got to the gym, and I remember I went to the gym late. It was about 11 o'clock because I was embarrassed. I went in and I couldn't do it. I was there 15 minutes and I was done. I couldn't do it. And so I left the gym and I went back home. And I parked outside and didn't go in because I had just left my house 30 minutes later and I didn't want my kids to see me go in. So I stayed outside for about 35, 40 minutes and waited for them to go to bed. And when I saw the lights in the house turn off, then I went in. I went straight to the shower and played the whole bit. I actually acted like I had gone to the gym. That night I couldn't sleep. That night I realized that I was going to have to start from scratch. The only thing that I was able to do the first 4 weeks was walk. That was it. That's all I could do. But I had told myself that I wasn't going to give up. And if it took walking, I was going to walk in the morning and I was going to walk in the evening. But I was going to walk and I was going to start somewhere. In the first 4 weeks, I lost almost 36 pounds in just 4 weeks. From the time I started to the time I had lost the 36 pounds, I knew that the pain I had felt in the beginning was still just, it was still just as harsh. I still felt that pain of letting my youngest son, and I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to stop just there. So I sat down after about 2 days and I put my next steps in place, which was the weight training. That same workout that I tried to do the first week, I pulled it out and I had put it underneath my mattress. And I remember I still had it filled in as far as the weight that I had done, and realizing that I couldn't, I still had it. And I looked at that and I took that same piece of paper and I went back to the gym, and still I was still embarrassed. I was still to the point where I still couldn't allow people to see me in the shape that I was in. So I would work out at midnight. I would wait till everybody would leave, put my kids to sleep, and then I would go to the gym. And I got through my first workout. And I was so emotional during that workout. I got through that first workout. That first workout, I took that piece of paper when I got home, and this is crazy because people are going to sit there and probably laugh, but I put it in a damn picture frame. And I actually put it up on my dresser. Every day that I get up, I'd actually look at that damn workout. And it made it that much easier to get to the next workout. So I had gone from not even being able to work out to walking to completing that first workout to being able to do a whole 12 weeks. The following 3 months, losing an additional 20 pounds. After the 3-month cycle, which is a total of 4 months, and losing about 50 pounds, I took a week off, and put together my next plan of action, which was the remaining 6 weeks, which would have put me at 6 months exactly. A week before starting the last 6-week phase, which would have put me at exactly 6 months, I realized at that point that I was able to do some of the things that I wasn't able to do with my youngest as far as going to every one of his practices. Although I had been through everything else as far as getting to that point and being able to have that energy to be able to go to my kids' practice, the last 6 weeks was, even now looking back, was probably the most gratifying, because not only was I still busting my tail in the gym, complacency had started to set in my workouts, and I knew that I wasn't going to go back to where I was at. I realized that I had to change a few things up and do things that I never thought I'd put myself through, because of the pain that I felt 4.5 months prior. I started doing things like cycling. I was able to do things like CrossFit sections. I was able to do kayaking. I was able to do strength and conditioning sessions 2 to 3 days. And all the while doing that throughout the week, my youngest boy had started practice again. And not only was I there for every one of his practices, I didn't miss any of my daughter's softball practices. I was coaching my oldest son's baseball team. My third son, I was able to help out his team as well. So having gone through everything, still being able to push myself with everything that I was doing as far as cycling, all the types of workouts that I had never done before, I was still able to work 40 plus hours a week, still being able to get my workouts in, and being there for every one of my kids' practices, games, traveling. I was able to do all that. The gym that I worked out at, that I initially started to work out at, was American Fitness in New Braunfels. I remember as if it was yesterday. I started working out there at night because of the ridicule that I had faced from some of the people that were actually there. I had enough confidence after all the weight that I had lost. I went back to the gym, started going at a decent hour. I was no longer working out at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, because of how embarrassed I was and from the looks that I was getting from people. I was able to go 7, 8 at a decent hour. The funny thing, and even now I look back on it, the same people that ridiculed me at the gym didn't even recognize me, one, but after realizing the amount of weight I had lost such a short period of time and seeing my efforts in the gym as far as busting my tail, were now asking me for help. That in itself was probably the best that I had felt in years. Because everything that I had faced and felt in the beginning was gone. I didn't have that baggage on me anymore. Me being ashamed, carrying all that excess weight, I didn't feel that anymore. I was able to go to the gym at a decent hour. And I was actually proud of myself for being able to do that. Because so many people had actually, through my entire journey, had seen where I was at and where I had gotten to, a lot of people were curious as to finding out why they weren't able to lose as much weight. And because I was able to learn my body and changing things up, one evening I had a gentleman by the name of Modicals, who goes by the New Braunfels strength coach, who sent me some information on his workouts and what he had been doing. I knew that even though I wasn't looking forward to it, I had to go, because my body had already adapted and become immune to what I was putting it through. And it was at that point that I ended up meeting Marcos, and through his workouts, I was able to lose an additional 15 pounds, but I had gotten stronger. But because of me being able to incorporate something totally different and shocking my body to the point where it didn't know exactly what was going on, but my weight had dropped off, my strength had increased because of constantly shocking it and putting it through workouts that, for all intents and purposes, didn't make any sense. It was just having to try and adapt, and I wasn't allowing it to through the workouts. Marcos was actually a gentleman that taught me various exercise routines, and that experience was probably the most grueling, considering how my body had already developed more strength. I was able to, my endurance had increased, and even then, again, as much as I hated it, he helped me. That particular workout helped me probably more so than everything I had done previously, because of the shock that my body was going through. So for those that are looking at or experiencing the same kind of issues that many of us face after losing a lot of weight, in terms of hitting a plateau, you really need to check out this guy, Marcos Torres, out of New Braunfels. He goes by New Braunfels Strength Coach. You can go on his website, newbraunfelsstrengthcoach.com, and I guarantee you, going through his workouts, your body's not going to have a chance to adapt, and you'll definitely gain considerable amount of strength. The energy levels increase, and just everything about his particular regimen will keep you on your toes for months on end. Again, like I said, you have to have a certain stamina and endurance, so at least before reaching out to him, I'm telling you, this guy's workouts are top notch. Because of my experience where I was at to where I'm at now, one of the biggest issues that I had was so few people were actually there for me in the beginning. The support system was hard to find initially. The people that were willing to give me sound quality advice. I've since developed the team, which is Team Unity, which you can find us at teamunity.com. I created for people that want to know the harsh reality of getting to where you want to get with all your fitness related goals. It's never going to be a pretty picture. The journey in itself is harsh, but we've been lucky enough that we've been there for others and made the journey more bearable. And really proud at the fact that not only are we helping so many, but that we're continuing to reach out to more and more people every day.